and welcome to the show. My name is Lyndan.
And my name's Vanessa.
And welcome to He's a DJ, She's a Rapper podcast, where we do our best to bring love and joy and fun back to your marriage. And once again, today we are recording live on Periscope.
Yes, so exciting. I love recording and doing Periscope at the same time. I think our energy is a little bit different.
Definitely your energy is different.
Yeah, super exciting. So today is an important topic. Today I am going to speak, I'm going to speak to the husbands, and then you're going to help me out a little bit, right?
I'm so going to back you up on everything that you're talking about today.
Okay.
And my dudes, I think you will too.
Yes. So we are today discussing why sex is so important to your wife.
I just had to check.
Okay, you threw me off because of the notes. I'm sorry. This makes Lyndan have to edit whenever I do this. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about why sex is so important to your wife. And this article I read in Family Life magazine. This is what kind of attracted me to the subject, because I'm going to be honest, we haven't had this issue in our marriage where Lyndan has rejected me. It was the other way around, and I'm being completely transparent. I was that way with Lyndan, and I rejected him. But don't you worry, because we are going to discuss why sex is so important to your husband.
And I will say that was years ago.
Yes, years ago. Yeah, years ago. We have a new marriage.
And yesterday.
So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to repeat it again. Me and Lyndan have been married 19 and a half years. We're high school sweethearts. So we talk about how the first 12 years of our marriage was extremely rough. There were times where it was horrible and lonely and boring and sad and kind of like we didn't know what we were doing.
Dang.
And then there were those after the 12 years, after we went through 2 years of hell and therapy and almost divorced, we have a renewed, restored, amazing, awesome, crazy, fun, exciting marriage. Was that enough adjectives?
I think so. Yeah, basically we are stronger than we've ever been. And it was because of all the pain and the hurt we went through, and we climbed out of that hole, and now we're stronger. So if you guys are in the mess right now, whether it has to do with your marriage or anything in life, if you are in the struggle right now, that struggle is your testimony. You know, they say no test, no testimony. The struggle you're in right now is what is going to define who you are in the future. So stay strong. Your breakthrough is right around the corner.
Someone put refined through the fire. Amen. That's
Yes.
exactly how we feel. A long time ago, I'm going to share this story really quick. A long time ago, when me and Lyndan were going through a really, really horrible time, and there were times that countless times I was on my knees before God and just going, what am I doing? Is this worth it? Am I supposed to feel this pain? You know, I don't feel like this is worth it. And we were driving up a hill, and there were these houses. We had a major fire here in Southern California, and there were these houses, and they were burned down. I mean, it was crazy because we were in a neighborhood, and there were some houses that were perfectly fine.
Yeah, not touched.
And then there were these other houses that
burned completely down to the ground.
And I looked at those houses, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is like so sad. And I felt God speak to my heart. I don't know if you guys can relate to me, but God speaks to my heart a lot. I may not hear him audibly, but I know he's here and I can hear him speak. And he said, this is your marriage right now, but I'm going to rebuild it. And at that moment, I just sobbed. when I thought of that, when I thought that's what my marriage feels like. That's exactly what marriage feels like.
Like it was burned to the ground.
Yeah. And about 2 years later, we drove up that same hill, and not purposely, we just happened to drive up that same hill. And the houses that were burned down were not only rebuilt, but they were, these houses were small, tiny houses, really old homes before when they got burned down.
Kind of beat up.
Yeah, kind of beat up. And then they were rebuilt into these huge 2-story, beautiful, brand new homes, brand new foundations, and they were better than they were before.
Yes.
And at that moment, God spoke to me and said, this is your marriage now. It's better than it was before.
Yes.
And I truly, truly believe that was a complete symbol of our marriage, was those homes. And so I'm telling you right now, if you are feeling that right now, but I have to be honest, I have to tell you, If both of you are working on the marriage 100%, fight through it, fight for it. It is so worth it. That's why we named our boot camp Fight For It Now.
Fight for it now, because it's so worth it.
It is. It's so worth it. So I just wanted to share that little story with you. But today we're going to talk about something that we have actually been getting messages and emails about, because I guess I discuss more about how I rejected Lyndan with sex our first 12 years of marriage. And women were telling me, well, what about your husbands? What if your husbands reject you? And I did not realize how much that happens in marriages. So one of the things I'm just going to read to you right now is, when you ignore God's command to cultivate intimacy and romance with your wife, she is left with a void in her soul. So husbands, are you hearing me? Wives, if you're just listening to this podcast right now, I want you to kind of play, and you're having this issue.
Play it loud,
and let your husband just hear it. Just hear this a little bit, okay? It may hurt a little bit, but that's okay.
And I'm telling you, because he doesn't know. I wouldn't know. Men, yeah, we just don't know stuff sometimes.
Yeah, tell him that you got to be straight out, right?
She just smacked me in the back and said, "Tell him, don't hit your husbands. Just be nice." But you know what? You do need to talk to him, because we don't know. We men typically feel like sex is what we want, and women can take it or leave it. So if we're not in the mood, then no big deal for you guys.
Yeah. Okay, so number 1, how your wife feels when you turn down sex. Listen up. She feels empty. She feels that she's unattractive, unloved. It doesn't matter how many nice things you say to her. It doesn't matter what you do for her. If you're not coming home and being intimate with her when she wants to, she's going to feel like she's neglected and unloved. So I don't care if you are, bringing her home flowers, doing all these nice things. As soon as you get into the bedroom or it comes a time where you're supposed to be intimate and you reject her, she's going to feel unloved and unwanted.
So there was one time when I wasn't feeling it.
3 times.
She says 3 times in the last 25 years, but I say there was one time.
I remember.
And I just wasn't feeling it, and it was weird. It was an odd feeling, but I wasn't feeling it. And she got so upset, and she actually cried.
It hurt.
Yeah, and I'm like, dang, girl, like, imagine, having this happen to you all the time. This is the first part of our marriage when we weren't really having a lot of sex. So the fact that she got so upset made me realize, okay, so there is something there. We just have to figure out a way to get it out.
And Malia just said, women don't forget. I don't forget those. It's so, because it wasn't very, very common in our marriage. It wasn't. So when it happened, I was like, okay, that's it. He's not attracted to me anymore. We're sensitive. We're emotional. So when things like that happen, it's like, there's something wrong with me. Not there's something wrong with you. Even though Lyndan always tells me we think way more than men do. They just think, well, I'm just tired, or aren't you tired? I had a long day, But we really take it in like there's something wrong with us.
And just like Seinfeld said, men will always trade sleep for sex. It wasn't because I was tired. It was just because I wasn't really feeling well. There was something up with the bubbly stomach. Too much info. It's like 15 years ago, all right?
You remember exactly how you felt? I
remember, yes.
You were so funny. Okay, number 2, resentful. You will make her resent you. She will become angry at the fact that she probably always needs to seduce you or talk you into sex. It will come out in everyday life. Being short, hot-tempered, nagging, and you know what else? She's going to get sexually frustrated. She's going to be frustrated with you. So all of those feelings, she may not even know where it's coming from, but it's coming from not getting any, right? Am I right?
Yeah. It's almost like you didn't want to say that.
I got a little nervous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you wonder, just imagine being rejected by the person that you love, the person that at one time, couldn't keep his hands off of you. And then now you're rejecting her. How is that going to make her feel? She's going to start getting angry with you. I do know someone who would get angry at her husband if she felt like she always had to seduce him. I mean, that gets tiring. As a woman, we want to be romanticized. We want to be seduced at times, So just remember that. Remember that she's going to start to get angry and resentful towards you. Okay, so I have number 3. So how your wife feels when you turn down sex. So number 3 is a void in her soul. I read this and I fell in love with it. Okay. So this is to all my believers out there. And if you're not, maybe you'll become a believer.
Let's focus on the family.
Yes. No, Family Life. This is from Family Life Today. God's design is for a man to be.
Over.
Sorry.
Good. God's design.
God's design is for a man to be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh. That's Genesis 2:24. God created sex and marriage to be shared, not withheld. And when romance, tenderness, and sex are not shared, a sense of loneliness sets in that can ultimately result in emotional and sexual temptation. Do you hear me with that? Physical intimacy is not optional in a marriage. When you ignore this God-given command to cultivate intimacy and romance with your wife, she is left with a void in her soul. Your romantic and sexual advances have tremendous power to set her apart as a woman and affirm her value. But rejection in the bedroom places her on an emotional quicksand. So those are basically all the three things that I had mentioned about feeling empty, resentful, and a void in her soul. Men, when you reject your wife, she feels that there's something wrong with her. She feels that she's doing something wrong. She feels that she's not attractive, that maybe she's gained too much weight, that you don't want her anymore. And she feels all those things inside, and it tears her in her soul. So just so you understand, if this is the woman you love and this is the woman you vowed to spend the rest of your life with, if you're too tired or there's something going on, maybe think, okay, I need to put as much effort into this marriage that I put into other things that aren't as important. Because in our life, God is number one, our spouse, we're number two. Before your children. They come before your children.
Whole another podcast, Periscope.
Yes. So having your husband not want you is an unbearable pain and hurt. Why would you want the woman you vowed to spend the rest of your life with feel that pain when you are in control of making it better? Ooh. Now listen up. If you do not have the desire to have sex, you must seek therapy and or a doctor. Maybe it's a medical issue that can be fixed easily, or maybe the both of you need to get therapy together to walk through your intimacy issues. Whatever it is, do not ignore it. If you're sick, you go to the doctor. If you're having sexual intimacy issues, if you're having any of these issues, go to the doctor. Not having sex in a marriage is a huge red flag, and consider this your warning sign.
Warning. Oh, Leslie's in the house. Leslie says amen. See?
Yes.
So we're speaking the truth. I have to say one thing for the ladies who said that their husband never makes the first move. For me, the reason I had stopped making the first move in the past was because when I did, I was always rejected. So it got to the point where I just didn't want to try anymore because I was getting rejected so much. And I didn't know when was the perfect time for me to try when it was going to be acceptable. So instead of taking a chance and getting told no, I just stopped making the first move. Mm-hmm. So if this is what's happening in your relationship, if you're the one that typically is saying no, and then every now and then on a whim, you want your husband to come to you, he's not going to know that mm-hmm. because you've said no so much. So just keep that in mind. Everyone's story is different, so I don't know what your particular story is, but that is exactly what was happening in our marriage.
That's exactly what happened. And then I started getting frustrated because I'm like, well, why am I always the one? If I'm always the one, then forget it. Then you start to kind of rebel, and it's like, forget it. I'm not going to ask him, and then no one's having sex. And that's not normal. So somebody had said something about their spouse not wanting to or feeling less of a man. And I would ask you first if you're seeing therapy about that, because that looks like issues you have to discuss. Honestly, if your spouse is not wanting to have sex with you and there is something going on, that's not just, and like I said it before, and Leslie's a counselor, Julia's on here, she's the counselor, therapist, and I know that they'd agree with me that there is something going on if you're not having sex in your marriage. And if there's if you have medical reasons, and obviously this does not pertain to you because there's issues medically there, but we're talking about just in your typical marriage. And I cannot stand that whole, like, what is it, a stigma, or what is it that people just talk about how you don't have sex anymore in marriage? That is a lie from the pit of hell. I want you to know that. And I really hate it. And this is a little off topic, but I actually like Modern Family, the show. I kind of like it. And last night made me so mad. I hate when they make husbands and fathers look stupid. It drives me crazy. Anyways, I just had to say that. That was all. I hope Modern Family's not watching. Or whatever station, whatever. I don't care if they are.
I hope they are.
Yeah, I don't care if they are.
Yeah.
Why do I care? But anyways, okay.
All right, you guys. So that is our show. Oh, is there...
We're going to close the podcast, but we're going to talk to them.
Well, that's what I was doing. That's
our
show.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Now you're going to have to edit this.
So we're not getting off the Periscope. We're getting off podcast. She didn't realize that. All right, you guys. So that is our show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us while we are live on Periscope. If you guys need any information or have any questions for us, you can go to our website and leave us a speak pipe.
We love speak pipes.
Which is a recorded message that you can re-record as many times as you like. So if you mess up, just delete and re-record. And we have our 30 Days of Pray and Play ebook available now on our website, which is at djandrapper.com.
We're
and all
so
of this,
excited about it.
All of this will be in the show notes, and we are very excited about it. And we are going to say goodbye to you and hello to the Periscopers. So if you're not following us on Periscope and jumping into this conversation, you got to find us.
And also, we are going to discuss on our next show why sex is important to your husband. And I'm sure my husband is going to have more than 3 tips. He's going to go off.
Yeah, so far I have it narrowed down to 170 reasons. I'm going to see if I can narrow it down a few more. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day or a good evening. Thank you for hanging out with us. And as usual,
remember, keep the faith, stay strong, and do not give up. Peace.
Never give up. And now we got to get back to these Periscope fools, right?
Why do you have to say that in a sexy voice? That's weird.
Because it's like...
You're going to make people go away. They don't want you to be sexy with them.
Grandma's chicken soup. And that's our show. All right, you guys.
Okay, you guys. I might actually get my... Oh, I didn't see that. All right. How are you guys? So do you have any questions for us? That's kind of a heavy topic, I know. But he's the DJ, she's the rapper. Thank you, Trisha. Trisha, you're here.
Trisha's in the house. She's up late.
I know. Oh, we thought our daughters were coming in. So I want to thank you guys to the replay earlier with our daughter, who's not. I had no idea Lyndan was going to have us on Periscope, but I just want to thank you guys for your prayers and she was absolutely in a lot of pain. She couldn't sit down. She couldn't walk. It was awful. So I really believe that was prayer, and she's completely fine, clean bill of health, nothing going on. They did all kinds of tests, so now we could sleep with a good peace of mind. So yes. I just wanted to thank you guys for that. So
Rachel said our only hang up is our kids keep us from getting intimate. How are they keeping you from getting intimate? I know you have 5 kids, Rachel?
Rachel has 5 kids. She has 5 little ones.
So how are they keeping you from getting intimate? Good to hear. Thank you guys. Yeah, it was a little scary, but like when she called me and she's like, we're on our way, and she wasn't crying, I knew it was good news. So I wanted to hop on Periscope. I have a little problem with having a 0 under our name on Periscope. So I always like to
lock
keep
them
it
in the closet.
Yeah, lock them in the closet. Yeah, and then they'll be crying so loud that you guys can be as loud as you want. Rachel,
it's got to be... 5 kids. I know something is working. We know that Rachel, they know how.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I just think that I know it's hard with 5 kids, and I don't have 5 kids, so I really feel bad saying this, not having 5 kids. But we did have 3 little ones. So you just have to figure something out. You got to get creative. And I don't want to get too detailed, but does it always have to be...
Hop in the shower.
I know. Does it always have to be in your bedroom?
Yes, 5.
Our 6 kids bang on the door, and we just keep going. I like Alicia.
Infants still nursing. We don't want any more babies.
Okay.
Yeah, so wrap it up. Keep it protected so you don't have any more babies. And for now, quickies just have to be your thing. You're going to have to be the quickie couple.
Oh, somebody has the kid in bed. That's a whole other scope. That's a whole other scope. I know it's rough. I've been there. I get it. But let me just tell you, after having a 21-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 12-year-old, so I have to really think about it, I think that the 12-year-old, what?
Miss Amy said because her kid's petrified, they end up sleeping in different beds.
Oh.
Husband and wife?
We love the quicker nap time nookie. Oh, good. Look at Love. You didn't let me finish my thought. And we can't stand when people do that on Periscope, when they're about to say something and then they don't finish their thought. Let me finish my thought. Oh, okay. With our last 2, with the first one, he was sleeping in bed with us. It was really bad. And I love my 21-year-old, but my 12-year-old is the one that never slept in our bed. We did something called Baby Wise, Growing Kids God's Way. And it was tough the first 12 weeks, but that girl always slept in her crib, always took naps in her bed. She was never in our bed. And let me tell you, she is the most calmest, relaxed, scheduled, mature kid of them all. Just saying. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but she was just talking about our kids sleeping in the same bed.
All right.
Trucker wife, sex life sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. That's
I'm
tough.
sorry. See,
That's tough. He's just out there trying to provide, and he's got to spend time away, and that's rough.
Every time you see him, just make sure you do. Yeah. That's what I would say, right?
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like rabbits.
Like rabbits?
Yeah, is that
did you say
is that the saying? Remember, I don't know expressions. Yeah. Tool bench, my husband is a carpenter. New idea.
Nice.
Wow. I love you guys. Can't stand growing kids God's way. Oh, it doesn't work for everyone. We didn't do it perfectly. I just took the things I liked from it. That's kind of what I do with everything. I don't diet because I don't believe in eliminating anything or stopping, like having a start. To me, a diet is a start and a stop date. I just take things I like from different nutrition plans and I use it. Same thing with raising my kids. I read books and I think I like that. I like that. I like that. And that's how I felt about Baby Wise. There were certain things I liked. And I have a 12-year-old that, I don't know.
That's absolutely perfect.
She's perfect. There's nothing wrong with her.
I've noticed kids who co-sleep seem to be agitated easily and very nervous. Well, that is outside of our range, but that could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
and I make it work for me. Thank you, Kiki. Exactly. Yeah. I make it work for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it. People aren't fans.
All right. All right, you guys. So tomorrow night we will be doing the other side. I don't want to be saying we'll be doing the men. That doesn't come out right for some reason. But that's what we'll be doing tomorrow night. Gary time was this whole Periscope was all about Gary time. Getting it in. And I don't mean it like, what are you pointing at?
No, sorry, because we're going on a different topic. But yes, Tamra, I agree with you.
Okay.
I disagree. Personalities and sleep habits are totally different issues.
Oh, to that other comment.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We don't know.
Video calls. Maybe they call in video. I don't know. Hannah, I'm just reading the comment.
Oh, I didn't know what you were...
Like I said.
I didn't know what you were replying to.
Okay. So you know what? We're Gary and I know they just left. They're having their own Gary time.
It's Gary time. As soon as we started talking about it, they're in the glitter fort right now.
Malia, I want to come out there for my birthday. That's a different issue. I'll just message you.
Yeah. Okay.
But I wanted to tell you guys all these questions about and I'm not calling them excuses. Oh, they're taking notes. I'm not calling them excuses. That's not what they are because everybody has their own life. We have, I know we have military wives, we have trucker wives, and I get it, things, but where there's a will, there's a way. I know there's 5 kids, I know there's 6 kids, I get it.
Yes.
All I'm going to tell you is get creative, be creative, okay? So if you guys have a topic that you'd like us to talk about, we've been getting DMs or direct messages on Twitter, or just tweet us. It's kind of hard for us to get back to our messages. Let us know. Or SpeakPipe. We love SpeakPipes, and we have to play that SpeakPipe.
DJandRapper.com, and look for it says submit a question. You can leave us a SpeakPipe. It doesn't have to be a question. It could be whatever you want it to be. But if it's dirty and nasty and mean, you won't get heard. We'll just delete it. That is all.
Oh, Kiki, look at Kiki, our manager.
Yeah,
no DMs.
No DMs. Yeah, just you can tweet us, SpeakPipe us. DMs get lost.
Yeah, it is true. They do get lost.
All right, so we are cutting out. We're going.
So what's our little quick Gary time?
It was the whole show. I just said the whole show was Gary time. Yeah.
I hate when you do that. I'm not listening.
And
I'm
women,
so sorry.
Listen to your husbands when they're right next to you. Listen.
And I'm sorry. I promised the Pioscope today. I will do that Pioscope. I just have to wait till my next class.
Daughter got in the way.
Did you just wave me?
No,
like
I was saying daughter got in the way. Like daughter got in the way.
But that looked like.
Listen, Linda. No, listen. All right, you guys. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with us. And big shout out and props to Shalene Johnson for shouting us out today. She is way too kind to us, way too nice. We are not worthy. We are not worthy.
Not at all.
Thank you. If you guys are not following her and you don't know who she is, look her up, follow her. She will change your life.
She'll change your life.
And she will connect you to the best people in the world, Coach Glitter and Kiki and everyone that's in our group. I mean,
Don't you realize
awesome.
this circle of group of people that were like, what does Coach Glitter call them? 6 degrees of Chalene Johnson?
Yes.
That's what we are, but we're all
and
pretty
Trisha,
awesome people.
And
Trisha right there.
Carrie
yes.
Shear, we found Carrie. I mean, the list goes on. So anyway, Chalene Johnson, she's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's just such an honor that you would say that. Thank you.
And I want you to know that that's why we did, if you came on a little late, we are going to do more we are going to record our Periscopes into podcasts. Why can't I say that?
Our Periscopes are going to be our podcast as well. We're repurposing. That's it.
Repurposing.
You guys have a very good night. We could talk your ears off. Go do your thing.
Yay,
do your family. Do each other. And have a good night.
Ooh, you said do each other.
That's how I go. See ya.
See you tomorrow night. Bye.